this video, I'm going to go through our free quiz that you can also try yourself. API SIRE, Source Inspector Rotating Equipment. So you can also study our first and second module for free, which covers basic facts, a body of knowledge and a scoring area with exam tips. This quiz is timed for 20 minutes. So I'll start the quiz. And also it is, the progress is, you can see the progress here as you go along. And you can also flag off like exam questions, real API exam question. You can flag off the question that you are in doubt. Impellers are balanced individually. This is like balancing wheel of the car. So you cannot do it all in an assembly. You do individually and then do all in assembly once it is on the rotor. Rotor is balanced as an assembly with shaft, sleeves, and impellers. So the whole thing needs to be assembled, and then the whole thing is with impellers that are individually balanced. They are assembled, and then they are balanced all over again in an assembly. Casting should be heat treated and rough machined. File and machine surfaces are subject to ND examination at the machining facility after hydro test. You can do before hydro test, but you have to certainly do it after hydro test, because the hydro test is like 1.5 times of the maximum allowable working pressure. So if there is any crack, that is existing crack, it will grow during hydro test, and you can see it much better than before the hydro test by ND techniques such as UT or RT. That's the reason that you have to do it after hydro test. The best quality achieved between this casting with investment castings. This is a bit more expensive, but you get better dimensional control and better quality control. Steel gland is supposed to be hydro tested to 1.5 times of maximum allowable working pressure. Remember that any hydro test for any pumps and its accessories like seal gland or the casing is always 1.5 times. Mechanical seals should not be used during the hydro test, but instead should be used during the mechanical running test. The reason is that if you use the seals during hydro test, it might damage the seal. Most of the seals are not designed to operate at test pressure. They're designed to operate at maximum allowable working pressure, and the test pressure is 1.5 times of that. So you might damage it. So they use some dummy seals. They call it slave seals. They use it during the hydro test, and then they replace it with the actual seal that shall be used on the pump or rotating equipment for the mechanical running test, because you want to check the performance of that at maximum allowable working pressure, and that's good enough for the seal's performance. Coupling gauze should be constructed with sufficient stiffness, rigidity to withstand a static load in any direction without the guard contacting moving parts of 200 pounds. So 200 pounds is the normal weight of a human being. If somebody stands on that, it doesn't damage the moving parts, and that's the reason. Lube oil piping is subject to hydro test. Again, here you see it's 1.5 times. Anything, accessories, the pumps, casing, lube oil is always tested, the pressure tested at hydro tested at 1.5 times of maximum allowable working pressure or operating pressure. Collect performance data and vibration and temperature reading for minimum number of 5 points on the performance curves. It's always minimum 5 points. For final inspection, you need all of the following except you need here the data sheet, you need general arrangement drawing, you shall need process and instrumentation diagram, piping and instrumentation diagram, you need electrical and instrumentation wiring diagram, you need bill of materials and packing list. There is no as such thing as final inspection procedure. Normally, even if it is there, that's not absolutely necessary, so choose the best answer here. You cannot delete the first three, so you click on the fourth one. Higher RPM steam turbines are more efficient, but less efficient but smaller in size. I think this is the correct answer. Let's see. So naturally, if the RPM goes more, it can produce more power, and then you got a smaller in size. So why they always don't do high RPM? Because you got more wear and tear. So it's a compromise between reliability and more wear and tear and more power. And then obviously if the RPM goes and the more wear tear, it is less efficient, like the percentage of efficiency per the power that you apply and the input and output, you get less because it's more wear and tear. For the same size you can get more power. That's an advantage. Source inspector should verify that the oil heater hot section is located at least 2 inches below minimum oil level. So it should be at least 2 inches below minimum oil level, the heater. Another advantage of the rotary screw type positive displacement compressor is that this type of compressor cannot surge, and therefore any complex control schemes and uploading bypasses are avoided. Because it gives always a constant volume per say second or per rotation, and hence it cannot surge. There is no cavitation here. Rotary screw compressor should comply with, I think it's 617. Let's see. I mean, you guys need to remember that. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. So it's 619. So you have to remember, this is a potential exam question. You need to remember which API is concerns which type of the compressor. Rework and repair is approved by the purchaser and verified by source inspector. So among other duties, source inspector is representing the client and verify what has been agreed between purchaser and vendor regarding the rework and repair. Make sure that what has been approved is actually being implemented in practice. Post on time means the period required after the driver strip for equipment to come to a rest. So when the compressor is stripped, is shut down for any reason, the time it takes till it comes to a complete standstill is called coast down time. Critical speed is when shaft rotational speed at which the rotor bearing support system is in a state of resonance. I would choose this one. It might be both A and B, and remember that API never uses the word A and B. So here they put both A and B, but we just wanted to highlight that we never use this. So state of resonance and state of uncontrollable excessive vibration means the same thing, but resonance is more widely used, so I've chosen this one. But here obviously this both 1 and 2 means the same meaning, so both A and B are correct, but API never uses such terms as both A and B. Just wanted to remind you guys. Maximum continuous speed. The speed at least equal to, I think it's 105%. Some are 110 and some is 105, but mostly 105. Yes. EIR, total indicator reading, difference between the maximum and minimum readings of a dial indicator, turning one complete revolution of the monitored surface. And the last question, trip speed is the speed at which the turbine shuts down. This is, I think, what I would select because that's what it means, tripping, shutting down. So it's not the maximum or minimum speed or when it chokes. You can view the result if you put your email and your name, and an email also will go to your to you about the score sheet that you have got for this quiz, and also it comes with explanation and notes why a question is right or a question is wrong, as you can see here. Thank you for watching our video.